Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dreams of owning a home or investing in one. Well, guess who's back in the news again? It is Jay Morrison. And why is he back in the news? It's not just the comments that Boyce Watkins made, and it's not just because he sold the legacy building, really sold it to, I believe, another entity that he owns. He's in the news again because, number one, he became a minister, and number two, he's starting up a new fund. So guys, will you be investing? All right, let's go back in time and sort of look through these things, look through what we know about Jay Morrison and the fund, the new fund that he is about to present, as well as revisit the old fund. So, Jay Morrison, right before he started the first fund, he was a realtor. He's recently given up his license. He also mentioned that he was working as a mortgage banker, a loan officer. Now, when I look up the licensing for that, I see a Jason Jermaine Morrison. I don't know if that's the same person, but the license was in Detroit. So there's no picture, so I'm not sure if it's him or did he give up that license. That part is not clear, right? But that's neither here nor there. We know that he had filed for bankruptcy. His house was under foreclosure. He owed, I believe, the IRS about $37,000 in a lien. And this was right before he started that very first fund. Okay, the first fund was not set up correctly, and it wasn't handled properly. It was said that there was only 2 people that was really working the fund. I believe he did have some other investors that were helping out, but many of them ended up leaving. And I know that I read something about Will Roundtree, I believe is his name, sued him. So it ended up just being him and one other person. Okay. Not so good, right? Especially when it comes to doing SEC filings. I work at a firm where we have a whole entire department dedicated to just that. Now, the reason why he had to do SEC filings is because if you are going to target investors, or if you're going to make it where the minimum, I believe, is under 10,000, then yes, you have to go to the SEC. If it's more than that, then you don't have to. If you're getting non-accredited investors also, you do have to file with the SEC. All right, I don't work in that department. I just work with them. And it's about 10 people in the daytime and then another 10 at night, right? So when I saw that it was just the 2 of them, meaning him and his wife, I was like, wow, I'm not sure how they were going to handle that. And I'm not sure if they did that great of a job on it. Even though the SEC and the DOJ found no flaws, I know that that is very strenuous. And he admitted to it. So hopefully he learned his lesson and he will hire people to help him out with that. Moving along, the as I mentioned to you before, there were a number of things with the other contract that bothered me because the expenses seem to outweigh the actual amount of interest that he was supposed to pay out. And then there was an area where it said donors and not investors. So I was like, okay, no, this is, I can't deal with this. This deal is not for me, but more power to him and everybody else who wanted to move in that particular direction, right? Now, there's some discrepancy because he mentioned in an interview that everyone is going to be paid $1.76 a share, right? But many people said they didn't receive any money at all. And I'm thinking that $1.76 a share that's being sent out after, 4 years? I believe that that is before all of the fees are taken out. So anyway, those of you who invested in the fund, you can comment below and let me know exactly how much did you receive. I'm curious because the math it wasn't mathing for me at all. For me, and one of the models for all investors, real estate investors, stock market investors, is Warren Buffett. And one of the things that he says is he doesn't want the advertisement so much. He just wants the contract and the numbers. He doesn't even want that many pictures in his contract. He wants to get down to the nitty gritty. So, and I'm a little bit like that too. I'm a bit skeptical. I'm a Generation X person. We don't trust too many people because when we were younger, we were told, if you do this, you'll get that. Well, many of us did this, but we didn't get that. So that's why I'm a little bit, pause for the cause. All right. I don't, believe it or not, even though I've been ripped off, I don't just throw my money out like that. Okay. I need more than sweet words in order for me to open up my purse. There's a reason why there is a book in the Bible called The Numbers, because math matters. Okay. And when you leave numbers out of the equation, like expenses and taxes, yeah, that's a problem for me. I'm definitely going to ask you about that. And speaking of which, not only did I look at the interview, but I looked at the teachings that he had on some older videos. I'm not sure if, sometimes when we speak, we can get nervous. Sometimes when we talk too fast, we may say the wrong things accidentally. But there were certain things that he mentioned that I know are incorrect. For example, and this goes into numbers, he mentioned that a 4-unit with a store is residential. All of us investors know that a 4-unit with a store is commercial property. That means you're going to have to pay higher taxes. It's mixed use. And a mixed use property, yes, you can make income on it, but that income is going to be taxed at a higher level. The next thing that he mentioned that was also questionable, especially being that he was a mortgage banker, he said you can buy property with FHA, but you don't have to live in there. When you go to FHA.com, you will see that it says that you are supposed to live there for at least a year. Right? So that right there made me, that's a red flag for me. That's a red flag for me. I would have to, if I were you, those of you who are, looking to invest with him again, I need you to ask him that question. I need you to talk to him about that. All right. Now, this new fund, from what I know about it, I mentioned affordable housing, commercial properties. It's still not clear what strategy he's going to use. The other thing too is, as far as him getting money from the public, my thing is, if he's a minister, if he's a preacher, I know that there's a lot of grants out there that are offered to ministers, churches. Yes, they take a while, but I still feel as though he could get a lot of money that way, grants, and maybe even some government contracting. Also, in addition, I'm not sure if he's like licensed, ordained, or what the whole process is, but I know that many states also offer tax credit as well. So, if he chooses an opportunity zone, he could really make a lot of money. And if he rewords and rewrites his contracts, those who invest with him could possibly make a lot of money as well. But we don't know as of yet. It seems as though it's something that he has in mind, that's in the works. I would say wait until you see everything on paper. Read what's on paper before you move forward. Okay? Don't just say, oh my God, he's found the Lord. Let's invest. We can trust him now. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. Your head is above your heart for a reason, because you're not supposed to let your emotion overrule your thinking and your logical process, which is in your head noggin, right? So no, let's not rush into things. Plus, I mean, I know this is going to sound kind of rough, but we don't know how authentically real it is. Like, I know that Jay Morrison went to church before he even did the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, because I remember when it was Killer Mike and T.I. And Jay, they didn't necessarily go together, but they were at the same church service at the same time. And the minister at that time of this particular church, he asked, certain people that were sitting in particular rows or whatever. I forgot how the whole thing went, but he was asking for money in a particular way that made them feel uncomfortable, but that made T.I. and Killer Mike feel uncomfortable. And Jay Morrison just went up there, and I'm not sure how much money he gave, but, it's not new for me hearing, he discovered the Lord. No, I believe that, he knew a long time ago. I just don't know how authentic he is. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And I just think that, and even if he is authentic, even if it is real, to the bone, you still should look at the numbers before you put your money and you invest in whatever deal he has put on the table. You still need to look at not only what the strategy is going to be, but what is the exit strategy going to be. And definitely, most definitely, ask, what are the expenses? Don't let him just tell you, oh, you're going to make this amount of money. Oh, it's going to be 8% or, 6%. We don't know how, what number he's going to put on there. And you only have to invest this amount. Okay. And then is that before or after the expenses are taken out? That's the real question that you need to ask. Okay? That's the real question that you need to ask, that you need to know. And then still not thoroughly convinced that he's tightened up his skills when it comes to being an investor. I know that he knows people who are serious investors. I know that for a fact. However, he himself, I'm not sure how much he knows. And I'm not sure how much he has tightened up in that particular area. Okay. I say this because when he was a realtor, he was selling luxury homes. Most realtors are not investors. And the ones that are investor friendly, normally those are the ones that are going to sell homes that are fixer-uppers, gut rehabs, handyman specials, or, need a little TLC. They're not going to be the realtors that sell luxury homes. Okay, and that's what Jay did. The other thing is, like I mentioned, he gave up his license. So, it wasn't easy to figure out whether or not when he had it, did he even get that certification? Because there's an investment certification, there's a short sale certification, there's a foreclosure certification. Like everybody that has a realtor's license, they don't all have those certifications, right? And when you don't have those certifications, when a person doesn't have it, 9 times out of 10, that person is not a real estate investor, and that person is not investor friendly, is not an investor friendly realtor. Okay? And the way you normally can tell is you might be able to, there's the National Association of Realtors. They have their site, or you can go to your board's realtor site and see whether or not a person has that particular distinction or not. Okay, so those are really the things that I wanted to share with you regarding Jay Morrison, Jay Morrison's new fund, and Jay Morrison, I guess you would say, new outlook on life. All right. This is not to tear him down. This is really I'm really just saying to you guys, listen, you got to look at the facts. Let's not ignore history. Okay. But let's learn from history. This is what he did. Did he learn from history? I'm still not sure what new things he's going to put in place since he's going to start up this new fund. That's going to be the real question. And I'm just giving you guys this insight for those of you who may not be real estate investors, but you're looking to be one. All right, guys, so that's all I have for you tonight. Make sure that you share this amongst your friends. If you're listening on YouTube, please click like, okay? It'll help get the message out. And remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.